Everyone, Bandit here. Welcome back to the channel. Back in Microsoft Flight Sim. Sorry, I was just had to update my SPAD.next. Of course, there's always something that happens before you start a stream. Anyway, I think I got it all going here. So hopefully things will start working. Anyway, for today's video, I'm going to do a live stream in the recently acquired TFDI MD-11. I was away for last week and I just got home Friday night. Saturday, I started up the sim. I saw this plane was available to buy in the marketplace, so I thought I'd purchase it and give it a go. I've been meaning to buy this airplane, and since it's available in the marketplace, if you purchase it in the marketplace, it is available to use in career mode. And I don't use career mode a lot, but I thought I would try it out and just see how it works in career mode. There's some quirks to operating this airplane in career mode, so we'll get through it. So I'm not, I've only done 2 flights in this airplane, so I'm not that proficient in it, so we'll be kind of learning as we go here. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Okay, so we'll go into our missions here. And I did 1 flight. I purchased a plane and I started off in Memphis, which is a cargo hub, and I flew a flight up to Calgary. So now the plane is in Calgary here. And if I go to missions, mission list, so I'm in freelancer mode. And if I go to mission lists, and then I'll just filter by aircraft model. And I'll pick the McDonnell Douglas. And now these are all the missions that are available. So I was going to do Calgary to Sioux Falls. It was in the list yesterday. I thought it'd be a good flight to do, and it wasn't in the list today though, so I changed it to San Antonio. Let's just find that flight in here. Should still be here, I hope. I thought in the past these flights would stay here for a while, but must have reset it sometime. There we go. San Antonio. So one of the quirks about this airplane in career mode is it does not load your flight plan into the sim, into the airplane when you start up. So normally when you do the career mode missions, it loads the airplane into the flight plan into the aircraft avionics for you, but it doesn't do that. So I'd recommend going to the FB before you load it up and go to the flight planner, look at the route, and copy this route into SimBrief and then run a SimBrief profile. So you see this is at flight level 400 with me taking off at Calgary on the Cowboy 2. You can enter these waypoints into SimBrief in the route planner and just run a SimBrief profile with the Duncan 2 arrival into San Antonio. Or the approach is going to be the ILS runway 4, it looks like. Yeah, so that's going to be the SimBrief profile I run. So I do that before, so I get this information from the tablet before I get the airplane, and then I'll run the SimBrief profile. I'm just going to close that. I'm going to do that over on my browser here. So we'll go to, did run the SimBrief profile with that route, and I'm going to check. I got to edit the runway. We landed on runway 4. Yeah, so I just have the SimBrief profile here. I have the route I copied in, and I'm just going to double check that it is the same route. No, it looks like it's changed the route since I last checked in here, so I'm going to just, all I do is save the route, so I just save it. Save to the web. Let's call it anything you want, so I'll just call it CYYC. It was saved. And then when I'm in the browser here, I can open a new tab. And there's a online website where you can do the flight planning. So I'm just going to grab that real quick here. Okay, so this is the website. It's planner.flightsimulator.com, and I saved the flight plan, CYYC, and if I go to open, and you can see CYYC to San Antonio, so I'll open that flight plan, and now this is going to have the route in here. So I'm going to copy the Cowboy 2 to the Duncan 2. I'll copy that. Go into SimBrief. Delete the route. Paste it in. Analyze route. Looks okay. And then I'm just going to make sure I got 40,000 feet set. We're going to be landing on runway 4. And I'll just generate that flight plan. And now that's all generated. So that's how I do it for this airplane. So a little quirky. It'd be nice if it just loaded into the flight, but it doesn't. So I'll accept the mission there. And we just have the white MD11 here. There's no livery for it. It's unfortunate because I had the A330 for the flight, and it had a DHL livery, which was just randomly selected. I didn't select it, but I do have some liveries for this, like FedEx and stuff, but it didn't select any livery, just selected the plain white model. Okay, so let's manage aircraft. We'll go into the fuel and payload. And if I look on the fuel for SimBrief, it has a block fuel of 75,000 pounds. So I'm just going to manage the fuel. That's from the SimBrief file. So I'm going to put 70. Here it says we need 86. So I'm going to put just above that. SimBrief has it at 75,000 pounds of fuel. So I'll just put a little bit above what they have recommended here. And I get credit for the fuel. Go back, and so our aircraft's good, so we'll hit fly. Now it's probably going to start me off at a passenger gate here, which is kind of crazy, but that's the way it is. There's lots of some minor issues with this career mode in heavy transport. Start you off at, there's lots, all the airports you fly out of have cargo areas. I don't know why it doesn't start you at a cargo area. But anyway, that's what it is. And the other quirk we'll talk about in a minute here as we get into the airplane. Okay, so we're onto the airplane here. So it starts off cold and... Oh, no, it's going to start off kind of a through-flight configuration here. Now, whatever you do, do not request your clearance, because as soon as you request your clearance, it's going to go into, it's going to skip to ready to taxi. So this airplane, normally when you're in career mode and you're with like a 737 or something like that, or doing any other operations, you can have the option to start the aircraft yourself and do everything, all the setup yourself, but it does not do that in the heavy ops. It goes, after you request your clearance, it's going to go right to skip to taxi. So you need to set everything up in this airplane before you request your clearance. So if you go to the FMC and you go to the NIT, you see we have no route in here at all. There's no flight plan. It's all empty. So we're going to have to go to import our flight plan from dispatch, and that's going to import that SimBrief flight plan. And I'm going to set the flight plan to the FMC. Then now you see we have CYYC to San Antonio. So that's going to be in there, and I'll set fuel and payload as per SimBrief. And that should set the fuel. We'll see what we have for fuel. Yeah, 75,000 pounds, so that's fine. And so the payload's all set. So now we can start setting up the airplane. So we want to get everything set up as best we can prior to getting our clearance. So let's start off at the, we're going to do some flows. And just remember, I haven't flown this airplane a lot, so I'm going to get it set up as best I can. So let's start, we got our IDEERS and nav already. Yeah, so this is in a through flight configuration, which is fine. Wiper off. That should be off for now, so we're ready to start. Temperature is okay. These lights are all okay. They're showing faults because we're not running. We got ground power is on. APU is on, sorry. And APU bleed is on, so that's all good. Our fuel looks good. Down here, we got everything looks like it's in a through flight, which looks okay. We've got the beacon light should be off right now. High intensity off, so nav light should be on, and yeah, those are good. Come up here, all that's good. Auto. APU's running, so we'll assume the fire tests have all been done. Well, the overhead panel looks good. Up here, we're going to set 40,000 feet is going to be our cruise altitude, so I'll set that in the window up here. We're going to be taking off 17, so let's get some charts. So view aircraft charts. Calgary, taxi, airport info, and going to be heading 165. We'll put that in our heading. Okay, we can set up here. I'm going to want traffic, data, airports. That's all good. Put the same on the FO side. Come down here, check our oxygen. All these lights are off, so you can turn like flight directors off, but there should all be blank there. We got our FMA, looks good for now. We'll come down here, we got our takeoff for auto brake is set for takeoff. Speed brake shouldn't be armed yet. Looks like I'm going to have to get SPAD going again here. First flight on career mode. Not my first flight on career mode. I've obviously done enough that I was able to buy this airplane. It cost 270,000 credits. So sometimes I don't fly a lot in career mode, but I do do enough just to purchase some airplanes. And just gonna see if everything's working here. So that's good. Yep. Okay. So speed brake is down. But it's my first flight with this airplane on career mode. No, sorry, a second flight with this airplane on career mode. Okay, Mike, make sure you got your volume turned up where you want here. So make sure you have mic selected and your volume turned up where you want here ATC. This CDU, we don't need to do anything right now. Squawk 2000, that's fine. They'll give us a squawk when we get our clearance. So next we need to go into FMC setup. So flight number I'm going to leave blank. So let's go get our flight plan here. And we've got our alternate is going to be Houston, KIAH. We leave our flight number blank. We're going to be cruising at 40,000 feet. Our cost index is 38. And our weather, it's going to be minus 58. And the headwind is, or the average wind is going to be plus 29, so minus 58 slash, so we're going to have a push of 29, so tailwind of 29 knots. That's good there. So that's everything we need on the first page. Next, you see all the weights have been populated, so we can just hit our weights and hit the CUGs and they'll all populate there, so those are good. And next page, I'm not sure what to do with this page. It's just like an option to activate your fuel dump, so it's not something I'm going to get into. But that's our perf data set, or sorry, our net is set. So now we need to go to our takeoff page. We need to do our takeoff data. So let's go to perf takeoff Calgary 17 left. Get the weather from the sim. Get our takeoff data. We're going to do optimum takeoff, optimum flaps. We'll do packs on, and anti-ice off, flex temperature. So we'll calculate that. There's our speeds, temperature, flaps 10. So we need to go over to our dial a flap here, and this is the most interesting flap system I've seen, where you have this dial a flap setting. So you dial what flap setting you want for takeoff, and then you just have to set it to dial a flap setting for your takeoff position. It's kind of really interesting how that works. So that's set. And so now we're going to get the information. So we've got a flex 57. Oh, you're on Xbox, so this plane's not available on Xbox yet? Yeah. I'm sure it will be soon. It usually comes out to PC first, and then comes out to Xbox shortly after. But yeah, it would be nice to have this plane on the consoles as well. So what was I looking at? 57 degrees. It's going to be packs on, flaps 10. Yeah, normally I buy planes. Since I'm on PC, normally I prefer to buy planes from the developer, but I thought since this was available, I was looking at purchasing this airplane, and it just happened to come available in the marketplace, so I thought I'd give it a try and see how it works in career mode here. Okay, so we got the runway slope of minus 0.3 and a headwind of 7 knots. So minus 0.3 slash headwind of 7, and the OAT is 19 degrees. Took me a while to figure this out, but 19 degrees, you have to put a C here or an F depending on what you're using. That was kind of annoying. And then check our V speed. So they've calculated 53, 64, 72. Let's see what they have. 51, 64, 72, so that's pretty close. We'll just use those numbers there. So we have our takeoff page done. We have our flight plan loaded. And I don't have the departure. I didn't load up the departure. So we're just going to do runway heading, because the Cowboy 3 departure is going to be runway heading up to whatever altitude they give us. Okay, so I think we have everything done. So now what's going to happen is, now that I have the airplane all configured, I'm going to call up and request our clearance, and then it's going to Hey Maury, should you try to build MD11 cockpit at home? Yeah, that'd be a big undertaking. I don't think I would ever build a cockpit to one specific airplane.
Calgary clearance delivery. November 2 tree 115 IFR to San Antonio. Ready to copy. November 2 tree 115 is cleared to San Antonio Airport via the CWBOY2 departure. Runway 17 left. Climb via said maintain flight level 410.
Oh,
Departure
410.
frequency is 119.8. Squawk 6134.
So we'll acknowledge that. Should put our squawk in for us.
Clear to San Antonio. By the CWBOY, to departure, runway 17 left. Climb via SID, maintain flight level 410. Departure frequency is 119.8. Squawk 6134. November 2 tree 115.
So 6134.
Readback is correct. Contact ground on 121 decimal tree when ready to taxi. Good day.
So he says ground services unavailable, skipping your taxi automatically. So it does that automatically. So you really need to set everything up before, because now I'm in a ready to taxi mode. And so now we need to go through and make sure everything is still configured okay. So we still have our flight plan. Nope, so I'm going to have to send it to the FMC again. Okay, so our flight plan's there. So that looks good. And let's see if our takeoff page is, that's all that data is still good there, so that's good. Except it didn't put in Flex 57 and it's got Flex, so we're gonna have to change all this again. Let's go to our perf. So it's going to be Flex 57, Ax on, flap 10, and it's going to be 51, 64, 72, 151, 164, 172. Check and make sure we got a good amount of fuel. So we have fuel on board is 79.5, so that's more than we need. Let's go to init. Our alternate is KIAH. I could swear last time I remembered this stuff here, but put 410 as a cruise. Bus index was 38. And it's got all our weights, that's good. Okay, so we have our takeoff page, flight plan page over here. Runway heading, we need to put that in again, so it's going to be heading 165. Up to 41,000 feet. Okay, so let's just go through and check everything again before we taxi here. So that all looks good. Everything's clear on the overhead panel. Beacon light is on. That's good. These should all be off for now. Seatbelt should be on. Okay, that all looks good. We got takeoff. So the only enunciations we have, and we have to set flaps, dial up flaps 10 for takeoff. Going to arm the auto brake, or arm the speed brake. And the transponder, we just want to put on transponder mode with ELF reporting on. And I think we're ready to taxi, so I'll use the checklist here for the go after start. So engine anti-ice as required, so we do not need the engine anti-ice. APU is off. We go to the engine page, we see the APU is off. Slats and flaps set for takeoff. And aircraft config. So let's go to the config page. And we'll do our flight control checks. So stick full forward, stick full back, full left, full right, and rudder, full right, full left. So config is good, flight control check is good, stabilizer trim set for takeoff. So we need 4.9, and that is stab is 4.4. We'll set that. It's close enough. And taxi light on, and we'll call for taxi.
Ground, November 2,
So taxi light on.
115 with Alpha, ready to taxi IFR.
Next we'll do the before takeoff checklist as we're rolling out. So let's look at our departure again. Taxi. I don't know why we didn't read back.
Hold short runway 17 left by taxiway Bravo, Charlie Bravo Delta 115.
Let's see where we are here. Yeah, you can see we're at the gates here, so basically taxi straight out here, left turn on Bravo, and then straight up to the end of the runway, so we'll hold short. Yeah, it would be nice if there was a big cargo area here in Calgary over here. It would be nice if they parked us there, but instead they parked us at a gate. Okay, we'll release our parking brake. Takes a little bit of power to get this airplane going. It taxis like a big heavy airplane. The couple flights I've done with this airplane, I've really enjoyed flying it. Anybody in the chat has the MD-11, let me know how you like it. Yeah, so I did one career mode flight with this airplane, and I did one non-career mode flight with this airplane. So it is a little bit quirky in career mode, but hopefully they fix some of those issues down the road. It'd be nice if you load it up with a livery too. Ground speed is good. We got our speed there. I like how it puts the taxi speed over here on the speed tape too. That's a nice feature. A little bit of power in the turns. Yeah, it's nice to see they're adding some third-party aircraft to career mode too. It's not perfectly integrated, but it's nice to have some different options. Okay, so let's get the before takeoff checklist. So verify bugs are set. So we have our V rotate V1 and V2. Runway, we'll verify that. It's going to be 17 left. Anti-ice we don't need on. Stabilizer trim is in the green. Spoiler is armed. Auto brake switches to takeoff. Flaps and slats set for takeoff. Takeoff data bugs are verified. Engine instruments check. Lighting on, so we'll get that landing lights on and the high intensity lights on when we're ready to go. And then flight modes, we're going to take off in heading mode. So what I'll do is I'll hit down and put it in I don't think I could pre-select heading mode here, so I'm going to have to select that once we're airborne. I know you can select nav mode, arm nav mode, but it doesn't seem like you can arm heading mode here. So that's okay. So the nav mode's armed. We can arm profile. So we got profile climb armed. And then auto flight will press after we line up. So that will be the before takeoff checklist once we get done. That done. All we got left to go is lights, and we'll arm auto flight. So for that, you hit arm auto flight on the ground, and then as soon as you get up to 70%, the auto throttle will take over and give you takeoff thrust based on our calculated flex temperature. I forgot to set my barrel bug, 2985. How's the MD11 been for me so far? Well, it's been pretty good. I really like it. Performance is good. I've only flown a couple flights in it, but it's been a fun airplane to learn. It's a lot different than what I'm used to. Looking forward to doing some more free flight flights with it. There's lots of great cargo routes you can fly with this airplane. They don't fly any passenger routes with it anymore in real life. Oh, hey, Ronnie. Longest route you've flown is from Helsinki to Narita. Yeah, that's a long one. Over the pole, even. Wow. Real route flown by Finnair. Cool. Yeah, I haven't done any polar flights in the sim. I know usually when you go above 70 north, you have to operate in true. And did you have to do that when you flew this over the pole there? Okay, we're coming up to our hold point. So we've got everything pretty much ready to go except for the lights, and we'll arm auto throttle when we get onto the runway. One thing, it really looks like you're right over the line, but when you taxi up, you can see, it looked like I was way over the line, but I'm still short of it. Okay, I think we're ready to request takeoff clearance.
Calgary Tower, November 2-115, ready for departure. Runway 17 left, IFR to San Antonio.
So I'll put the strobe light on. Landing light on. We're waiting for the clearance there, but should come momentarily. We'll put the transponder on. Yeah.
Clear for takeoff, runway 17
Definitely some bugs were not here in the...
Tree 115.
Maybe it turned the volume down on me here again. Yeah, it did. Turn the volume down, that's why. Okay, so we're clear, takeoff 17 left. Oh, I did a video on the A330 freighter ops in career mode, and if you saw that, you'll see I'm going to do the same quirk here. I'm going to cancel IFR before we get to flight level 180, and then we don't have to listen to all the ATC frequency changes on the way down. So I'll do the same thing here today. And we can put it in acceleration mode. Otherwise, this would be about a 5-hour live stream. I don't think we want to hang out for that long. Okay, so we're lined up. I'm going to arm the auto flight. And landing lights are on. We're ready to go. So we'll just adjust the thrust up to 70%, and then we'll let the auto throttle take over. Thrust set. There's V1. Rotate.
V1 rotate.
Smooth up to 10 degrees, positive rate, gears up. Pitch up to the flight director. This plane really climbs with a lot of power. We're not that heavy. Get the autopilot on. We'll go heading mode. Heading 165.
119.8 for 115.
Stabilizer
Calgary departure. November 2 tree 115.
We'll go
is at
FM
5,000
speed
on
mode.
climb flight level 410.
Stabilizer motion.
November 2 tree 115. Calgary departure. Altimeter 29885.
Oh, I forgot to adjust the acceleration height, so it's going to take us up a little bit before it goes into acceleration.
115. Verify squawking 6134.
Now, why didn't you change that? 6134. Okay, now we're pitched for 250, accelerating. We're above flap retraction altitude, so we can go to slats. Above slat retraction speed, so we can go flaps up.
Stabilizer motion. Stabilizer motion.
And flaps are up. Go to auto brake off. Accelerating up to 250, so we're in pitch heading, and he's not going to tell us to go direct to the first fix, so we can just go direct to on our own. So we go flight plan. So we go direct to, we'll go direct to Agrin there. And we'll select nav. So we're nav, auto thrust up to 410, and pitch 250. Perfect. Yeah, so this FMA is a little bit different than what I'm used to, but I'm starting to get used to it. Autopilot 1 is on. So normally what I do is I'll stay in 1 speed until I cancel IFR, so we're getting above 10,000 feet here. Let's go to our checklist and let's do the takeoff. We set toga after takeoff, gears up, spoilers are disarmed, so we can disarm those. Auto brake switches off, slats and flaps are retracted, and engine instruments are all good. So after takeoff checklist, passing 10,000, we'll get the landing lights off. And sterile cockpit, we're good. And then now we're going to get the transition and dial a flap set to 15.
Stabilizer motion.
Accelerating to 298. So this is where I would go into the communications tab here, and I would cancel IFR. And if you don't do it before 18,000 feet, you're not going to have the option.
Cancel IFR at this time.
115. IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Okay, perfect. So cancel IFR, squawk 1200. I'm going to write down this squawk because they're probably going to give it back to us when we check in San Antonio. So 6134. And then I'll squawk 1200 for now. There we go. So we're cruising nicely up to 410. Just do the prog page here. And our NIT, optimum is 390, maximum's 421, so we can go up to 410. Probably I wouldn't if I didn't have to, but wait till we're closer to our optimum, but I'll just go up to 410. Okay, so we'll range out a little bit here. So there's our pretty straight flight. So now what I would normally do is I would, one of my control panels here, I have an option to change the rate. So I'm going to put it on rate 4 in the climb. And that will speed things up. So that's normally what I do in career mode. For these longer flights, I'll just speed things up for the route, especially if it's a nice straight line like this. So we're through transition. So we'll set standard. 2992, 2992, 2992. So it's looking good. Do our checklist for the transition altitude, altimeter standard, dial a flap 15. So you dial a flap 15 because that's what you're going to be using for the standard landing flap configuration is 15. So we'll set that up now. And the next is going to be the cruise, and then it's just going to be FMA verify and FMS, set FMS for descent, approach, and landing. So we'll do that once we get a little further along. Yeah, so I'll definitely do a video on this plane in free flight mode, like just a normal flight. That's not going to be career based because it's a lot more fun to fly it in that mode. So I'm not sure what the max acceleration rate is for this airplane, but we'll try it out, see how it is. I've only tried 4, which I'm in right now. And usually what I'll do is I get closer to the top of descent, I'll slow it down to 1 or 2, and then I'll speed it back up once we get level. Definitely a nice modeled airplane, I think. The liveries I have, like the UPS, FedEx liveries, look really good. Yeah, so this flight would normally be 3 hours and 15 minutes. So if we can do it at 4 times speed, we'll be under an hour. So that's just about right. I don't want to spend too much time in career mode doing these flights. But I did earn some pretty big money on some of the A330 flights I was doing. Earned $40 million on one flight. If you saw my last video flying the A330 in career mode, I earned 35 million credits. So you can build up the money pretty quick to buy the bigger airplanes when you're able to get enough to purchase this initial airplane. I had to sell the 330 to purchase this, though. It was going to take me about 5 or 6 big career mode flights to get enough money. So I just sold the A330 and used it to purchase this instead. think this flight is worth about 12 million credits for a 3-hour flight. Okay, so we're 1,000 to go.
Altitude.
I'm just going to slow the sim rate down so it doesn't balloon through the altitude there a little bit. So I'll just slow it down to 2. And for cruise, we're going to be hold at 41,000, nav 1, and thrust to maintain 0.813, so that looks good. So that's the cruise mode. You can skip to descent, but you're going to lose your lose a lot of money on your overall profile here. So now I'll just speed it up to 4 times speed. See how it looks, if that looks pretty stable, and we can even try going up to 8 and see how that works. I'm just going to go up to 8. Some airplanes don't work very well above 4. But right now I have 8 times speed. I run the chrono. Where's the chrono? Right here.
Altitude.
Yeah, so it's getting a little squirrely, so I'm going to go back to 4 times speed. So I think 4 times speed is probably the safest we can operate in this airplane. It starts to get a little bit squirrely above that. So if you want to do a long haul flight and get full credit for your flight, you're going to have to divide by 4 for the time. So in this one we'll get just under an hour, and but if we were doing a long haul, like a 12-hour flight, you'd have to commit about a good 3 hours of real time at 4 times speed to complete the flight. So something to keep in mind if you want your full credit. Otherwise you can just skip to top of descent. But the thing I don't like about skip to descent is you never know where you're going to be. You never know how the plane's going to leave you. Sometimes the gear is down and flaps are down and you're 3 miles final. Sometimes you're 30,000 feet. So, and then you got to play a lot of catch up to try to figure things out. So I don't like using that very often, but yeah, so it's maintaining pretty solid performance here at 41,000 feet at 4 times speed, so we'll cruise along at that. So what we can do now is start setting up for our arrival into San Antonio. So let's go to our arrival charts. And the flight plan had us coming in on the Duncan 2. So if I look up the flight plan up here, it's going to be the Duncan 2 from MOP for runway 4. So the Duncan 2 from MOP, so we have these restricted altitudes here. And for landing on runway 4, it looks like it's going to be straight into Lowen. 6,000 feet landing runway 4 right here. So this is the route we're going to be following. So if we go to our flight plan, we can see MOP is the last waypoint, so we're going to have to click on San Antonio. We're going to have to go to the star. We're going to get the Duncan 2 via MOP. We're going to do the ILS-4. And I'm assuming the ILS-4 is just going to come out this way, so probably don't need any special. We can take a look at it though. Approach ILS-4. give ourselves another waypoint there, probably Targo. We'll load it up by a Targo, and we'll insert that. So that is in there. And next we have to, let's look at the plan view and just see how that lines up. So they're not going to give us vectors or anything when we come in. So we're just going to fly the arrival. All you have to do is fly over the specified waypoints in the flight plan, and you can descend how you want. We'll descend by the star though, because it'll work fine for this arrival. And then we'll transition on the ILS. So what we can do is we can see how it looks in plan mode. So we'll go to plan mode here. We'll make it a little bit bigger, and we'll cycle up. We'll see. So that's our flight plan. So there's the arrival. So we can see lone and hard. So if we can just probably link these two up, and that should work pretty good. So if I go, we can clear the discontinuity. Nope. Gonna have to figure out how to do this. So lone, next waypoint would be hard. So I'll just double check that on the HARDD. So let's see if we were able to get that. Yeah, so we got that linked up. So it's going to go lone, left turn, hard. So it links everything up. So now we can just fly nice profile descent all the way down. Perfect. So what you're going to do is, because we've canceled IFR, it's automatically, once we get close to the airport, it's automatically going to have us call tower. And so it might not do that till we're on final, but it might do it like at 10,000 feet. So we'll see once we get there. So we have the approach and arrival loaded in, and we have it all linked up. So we'll go back to map mode. So let's look in there. Let's go look at our prog, how things are looking. And we should be landing at with 33,000 pounds of fuel for runway 4. That looks good. Let's see if we can get some weather here. They have a ACARS, and you can get weather. So let's see if we can get KSAT. I know this worked in free flight. It might not work. No, I don't think it works in career mode, because you have career mode weather in here. So I don't think it's going to work. But I'm pretty sure that worked when I was doing a free flight. I was able to get some weather. Under your settings, you have options, and I think under comms, yeah, there's somewhere in here where you can set up your hobby code for, and if you have say intentions, but beyond ATC doesn't work with this airplane yet. So okay, so the next thing we need to do is get some weather then. So if we can go up to our tablet here and get the weather. Go back to our route, and we'll get the airport information for San Antonio, info, weather. So there's winds are going to be 120 at 13 gusting 18, 10 miles, 31 degrees, 29 or 89er. Looks good. So we can do our perf data. Now we're airborne, it's going to do the perf data for landing. So runway 4, dry. We'll get the weather from the sim. 120 at 13, 31 degrees, 29 or 89er. get the aircraft weight. We're going to be using auto brake min, reversers all, and normal landing with this airplane is flap 35. But if you really need for the distance, you could use flap 50, but it adds a lot more drag to the airplane. So flap 35 would be the normal distance. So we'll calculate, and we have stop distance available 7,200, estimated land distance 53. So we'll use that. So we can go in and now set for the takeoff. So we're going to use flap 35 landing. That's all good. And we have our speeds of 143, 138. So that's good. Well, I think we have everything set up for our arrival. Now it's just a matter of killing time. I can call up SimBrief here and or Navigraph, and we can just look at the route that we're flying here on the charts. Yeah, so we're making pretty good time. We're about not too far from halfway. Coming in on the Duncan 2. Nothing we do is check these restrictions that they're good. It doesn't really matter for the arrival when you're doing these flights in career mode, but if you want to check, we'll just double check that they're working pretty good. So we go to flight plan, start at MOP. First restriction is 240 or above. We got MOP 240 or above, full between 9 and 13. And then Manu 9 or below. So Folk at or above 9, at or below 13. That's good. Our speed below 10,000 is 245, so that's good. Next one is Folk 9 or above. 13 or below, yep, so we did look at that one. Hold on. Next one after that was Manu, that's 9 or below. So Manu is at or below 9,000. If we go back to, and we got Dynamo at 230, 7 or above. 210, 6,000, and then Lone at 6,000. So we got 7 or above 230, 6,000, and 6,000 on Lone, so those are good there. And speed's 210. Well, those all look good. Now check the approach. Yep, 210, 230, yeah, those are good. We'll add the approach, be the ILS 4. Then we've got hard will be 5 or above. Hard 5 or above, speed 210. And then we've got Avery and NADB 35, 2000, and then the runway. Avery 35, 2000, and then runway 4. Then missed approach is climb 1,700 feet, left turn 3,500 to SAT VOR 040 to Shep. So 040 off the SAT VOR to Shep at 18.4 DME. Okay. Well, that looks good. Just check. My 04, 1700 feet, intercept to Shep 3500 or above, and hold as published. Perfect. Put traffic data back on for our info. Put some airport info back on. Yeah, so I'll just get rid of the airports here, but at some point we're going to have a top of descent. It's too far out right now, but when we hit the top of descent, we can select lower altitude. So I'll select 5,000 or 3,500 feet for the approach for the fix there on the ILS, and then we'll just be in profile mode, so it'll just follow the profile down on the arrival. Okay, so we got the belts on, no smoking. I guess we can turn those off, but we do have a fuel. And I think this is just an advisory from what I've seen. So if anybody in the chat knows, but I think it's just telling me, so I hit the fuel page, and it is just telling me that the fuel temperature is cold, so they're just recirculating fuel to cool the temperatures down, or to warm the temperatures up. So that does come on. I've seen that come on in the flights I've done so far, where you just get that fuel indication. You go to the fuel page, and it's just telling you the pumps are recirculating the fuel, probably just to warm the fuel up a little bit. So I'm assuming that's what it is. Hey Maury, welcome back. So, Maury, do you have the MD11 in your hangar in flight sim? If you do, how do you like it? Getting pretty good performance in 4 times speed here. I'm getting 50 frames per second, which is not bad for 4x speed. I'm going to get above a little cloud here, so it can get a little bumpy, so I might have to reduce it down to 2x speed. So we'll see how that goes. Definitely nice to be able to get some new planes in the sim though, for career mode. I don't know if we'll ever see the PMDGs in the sim, although they are sold in the marketplace, so that's the only issue, is the plane has to be sold in the marketplace. As I said earlier, normally I'd buy this plane from the developer or some of the major vendors like AnyBuilds or Orbex, but because you get the updates a lot faster that way. In the sim, the updates come really slow. Yeah, I agree. The MD11, I really like it so far. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more flying in it. And I can't believe you're going to build a cockpit around this airplane. How detailed are you going to get with it? Are you going to have screens, pop-out screens for all the displays? Are you going to purchase an FMC? And you can really go crazy when you build your own cockpit. We got a little bit of turbulence. It's not too bad, so I think we'll be able to keep it. So there we see our top of descent arrow coming up. So once I get close to the top of descent, I'll bring it back to 1-time speed, and we'll do the full arrival and approach in 1-time speed. But the key to these career modes is canceling IFR before you get above 18,000 feet. Like I said, if you go above 18,000 feet, you're not going to get that cancel IFR option. You need to do it below 18. And then on the really long hauls, like if you got to do 4 times speed on a 10, 12-hour flight, you can actually just let it run in 4x speed, and you don't even have to, you can go do other things and come back and just set a timer on your watch or phone and then come back 10 or 15 minutes before your top of descent and get everything set up. But if you forget to cancel IFR, you're going to miss all the radio calls, and then you're going to get 0 extra credit for the procedures. See the fuel tank recirculating again there. So let's do a fuel check, see how things are going. So at Vigil here, let's see what our fuel is going to be. 48 change. So we got 48.2 at Vigil. So if we go into our flight plan here and go down to Vigil, and we should have 39.2, so we got a lot of extra fuel actually. So the fuel looks good. I did notice on the A330 that the fuel burn at 4 times sim rate, it was weird. I don't know if the fuel burn was off for the airplane, but I ran a SimBri profile, figured out how much fuel I needed, and I landed with way more fuel. I fueled the plane up to what SimBri called for, and I landed with way more fuel than I needed. So. Oh, that sounds good, Maury. Should be fun building the cockpit. Yeah, I'm not sure for switches what's available for the MD11. Like, I know you can get overhead panels for the Airbuses and the Boeings. You can get an FMC that's for the Airbus and the Boeing. I'm not sure if you can get something that's going to mimic the MD11. Cruising along, good. Yeah, this airplane, the sweet spot seems to be 4x speed for the sim rate. Bump it up a little bit right now again, see if it'll maintain stability here. I'm at 8x speed right now. We'll see. I wouldn't leave it at 8x speed and go away though. You can just see it starts these oscillations, and then they just get worse and worse and worse. So I'm going to go back to 4x speed. And you add a little bit of turbulence in, and then you're going to get your autopilot kick off, and then it could get ugly. Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't use the UPS or the FedEx livery for this plane. I was kind of surprised in the A330 career mode with the heavy cargo ops. It picked the DHL livery, which was nice to see. And that's a livery I downloaded from flightsim.to. It wasn't one of the stock liveries for the planes. I was kind of hoping it would do the same here, but we just have the generic white livery. If anybody knows how to force a livery into career mode, let me know. Let me know in the comments or in the chat. But I don't think there is a way. Hey Velen, UPS did have some all white ones, so it is fairly accurate. Oh, there you go. Unfortunately, due to that UPS incident last year, I think UPS has grounded all their planes and they're not going to fly them anymore. I think FedEx is going to fly the MD11 when it gets recertified here in the near future, but I'm pretty sure UPS has shut down their MD11 ops, which is too bad. That definitely was a tragic accident. Yeah, so there's not a lot of operators left when the MD11 starts flying again. I think it's just going to be FedEx, and I think there was one other freighter carrier, might have been World something, that flies it. Oh, okay, Maury, the FedEx did a test flight yesterday. Oh, okay, good to know. Yeah, I hope to get these planes flying again. Nice to see them in the air. I'm not sure. I'll just do a quick search for current MD11 operators. Current MD11, FedEx, and Western Global. Yeah, so that's, sorry, it's not World, it was Western. Western Global has some MD11s as well. Yeah. Okay, so we're 160, about 240 miles from our top of descent. Wow, that's a lot of people that track that flight. Starting to get a little bit turbulent here, so we'll just keep an eye on the sim rate, make sure things don't get out of hand here. So you can see all our restrictions on the arrival. So if I stay in profile mode, the airplane should just do a profile descent following all those restrictions. My VOR information up here. So the weather radar, I think I have to, so it's off right now down here. If I put it on weather, and so this is where I think I select the weather radar. So there we go, weather radar, weather and transmit, and you can see the weather popping up here. So we got a little bit of a system here, but we should be clear of it. And then our top of descent should be after that, and it looks like clear skies, clear sailing after that. Okay, cool, Maury. I'll go check that out on it's FedEx 9045. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it'd be nice to see this plane back in the skies again. How's everyone finding Sim Update 5? I had some real issues with it when I upgraded the Sim, or I did the update to Sim Update 5. It was, I was stuck in the lock screen. I had to find a way to trick it to go into safe mode so that I could disable the all the marketplace purchases, and I disabled the community folder to get it going. It was a real pain. I eventually got it going though and got everything working, but it's unfortunate because, you know, with a major product like this, you shouldn't have to deal with that kind of stuff when you're doing updates. Okay, about probably about 100 miles till our top of descent. What should you use for wood or cardboard, strong cardboard? Running out of wood. Well, if you can get your hands on some plywood, that would be the best. That would be the best product, I think, to use for building your cockpit frame, because it's easy to work with, and also takes paint really well too if you want to paint it. But it shouldn't need very thick plywood either, like 3/8 inch maybe. Half-inch plywood. Yeah, I'm not sure if cardboard would be strong enough, especially if you're going to mount anything to the frame itself. I have seen a couple of really good YouTube videos about people making home cockpits. It'd be worthwhile searching for some of those too, Maury, if you want to get some tips on how to build a good cockpit. Okay, so looking good, coming up to our top of descent. I'm going to put the auto brake on minimum. And let's see what we have for a checklist here for descent. So cruise, that was good. Rushing transition level on the way down. We'll set the altimeter below 10,000. We'll get the lights on. And auto brake switch as required, so we set it to min. We'll get the landing lights and stereo cockpit below 10. So we'll say that's good, and then we'll just have the before landing checklist to go. No, I don't think I'll probably just do this one flight today. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. So I think my son and I are going to take my wife out for her Mother's Day dinner. So I'm only going to have time for one flight today. Okay, so we're getting close to top of descent. I'm going to bring the sim rate back down. That's good. And what I'll do is I'm going to set the, if I go to the ILS page here, we're going to be on the ILS 4, and I'm going to set the, I'm going to set 2,000 feet for the altitude just prior to the FAF for my lowest altitude. So it'll follow all those restrictions and speeds on the way in, and including these altitude restrictions here, 5,000, 3,500, and then down to 2,000. Does anybody know how to put your charts into day mode? I didn't see it anywhere. Seems they're only in night mode. So I'll dial 2,000 feet. And it should go profile descent to 2,000 feet as armed. So as soon as we hit this top of descent chevron here, it should start the descent. If we go into our perf page, we can see our cruise is 8.1. Go to the next page. Our descent is going to be 0.801, transition 330. You can change that if you need to, but we'll keep the speed up for 330. And I think you just hit edit here. So let's say we wanted to change it to 320. Try that, and then transition is 80, and we can put in a descent forecast. So what you can do is you can get your descent winds from your flight plan. So if you go down here, descent winds, so we can put in 350 / 269 at 34. Uh, 310, 264.27, and we can put, let's put 150, just something different. So 150, 257 at 8, / 257 / 8, and the winds in San Antonio were, look at the charts, get weather, 120 at 13, and the temperature was 31. 120 / 13 and 31 C. Oh, maybe you don't have to put a C for that one. 31. There we go. And we started our descent. So now we're profile with the next speed restriction at 240. Yeah, so this is a little different than what I'm used to, but it still makes sense. The stuff in magenta is like manage mode and in the Airbus. And then if I go to vertical speed mode for some reason, so I go to vertical speed mode, it goes to white, which means I'm in a non-managed mode, I guess is the term for it. And then if I hit profile again, it just goes back to profile descent. Well, we can put our rad alt mins in. So let's go to the charts. The approach. Be nice if you could bookmark the approach place you want and just have a list of the of your bookmarked charts, because you have to keep going back and select them again. So the minimums are 986. So we can set that in. So we're in barrel mode. Let's go 986. Round it up to 990. Even though the weather is VFR. From the few flights I've done, this airplane does a pretty good job flying the VNAV profile in as well. There's one interesting thing about the heading is that you can set a heading, and then when you hit, if you pull out the heading bug, it will fly to that set heading. And then if you push it, I think it just flies the current heading. And then you can rotate the heading, but it doesn't turn until you pull it to select the desired heading. It's kind of a weird system, but a little different than what I'm used to. You can try that on the downwind. Go to heading mode instead of letting the airplane fly itself around. So I'm going to put that squawk back in because I think they're going to tell me to anyway. Usually they do. 6134. Looks clear sailing ahead, so I'm going to shut the weather radar off. Go back to terrain mode. And I'll put the weather radar off over here. So that's flight level 240 or above, so that's okay. Put the chart up here for monitoring the star. 240 or above at MOP. And we need to be between 9 and 13 at Fulk. Yeah, so I'm glad to have a new airplane to fly in the sim. Like I said, I've been meaning to get this one for a while, but I've been pretty busy, so I didn't want to really get into a new airplane. But the timing was right, so when it showed up in the marketplace, I just thought I'd pick it up. And yeah, looking forward to learning to fly this plane a little more. Okay, you can see already at 30,000 feet it's asked us to contact a rival tower, request a full stop landing. So like I said, this can appear sometimes I haven't had it appear till I'm 5 miles on final, and sometimes this is the furthest out I've ever had it appear. So I'll just trigger might have to go into here. Dial up the tower frequency. So the tower frequency is 119.8. Yeah, so it's on the tower frequency. So I'm hitting the return button, but it's not allowing me to do anything yet, so might have to wait till we're a bit closer. But I've never had that pop up this soon yet. But that's usually what pops up, though, is contact tower or request a full stop landing via radio. So it automatically put in the tower frequency. I didn't put that in. And make sure our volume is up here. Yeah, one thing I don't like about career mode is the ATC doesn't work very well. How would I rate this plane? Out of 10, I would give it, just having flown it a few times so far, I'm going to give it, and not knowing the plane that in depth myself, I'm definitely like modeling, handling, everything. I'm definitely going to give it an 8 out of 10, just from initial reaction to it. And that potentially could be higher as I get more used to flying the plane. But overall, I really found this a nice plane to fly. Performance has been pretty good. I usually run, I got a 4K monitor, and I usually run in just TA mode with no frame gen or anything, and I can usually get about 60 frames per second, and that's what I'm getting right now with this airplane. So a few things I would like to see, some improvements in the tablet maybe, but yeah, other than that, it seems to be a really nice airplane. Unfortunately, really nice airplanes aren't cheap, so I think this was about $70 in the marketplace, 70 US dollars. Up there with the PMDGs and the Phoenix airplanes, but worth the price because you get what you pay for. You get a nicely modeled airplane for that price. Yeah, it's doing a good job flying the VNAV descent here. I didn't change that speed on the descent, so yeah. So I remember I put that 320. I don't know when that, if that changes, or if I could change it here. I wonder if I go /320 maybe. Nope, not allowed. Yeah, I thought the edit would change the speed up here, but it seems to be flying the 330. If you could use a yoke, this airplane has a yoke, so I would definitely try to get a yoke there, Maury. But if you just want an off-the-market yoke, I think one of the better yokes to get is the, I don't have it myself, but a lot of people really think it's a pretty good product, so I'll just kind of find it here. And it's a Thrustmaster Boeing yoke. Yeah, so this is the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke, so that's probably the one I would get if you want a more realistic yoke for this type of airplane. It's not cheap, but if you're going to spend some good money on hardware, then that's definitely what I would look at getting. And then it's versatile for using with other airplanes as well. Okay, so we're going to transition. I'm just going to hit the B button because I never know what it's going to be. Let's go to the perf and see. 2989 is what they had, so that's pretty close. 2987. So transition 2987 is set. Let's get our belts on, even though we don't have any passengers. So we're looking at Folk between 9 and 13, so that's looking pretty good. Now you don't have to put the frequency in, it should automatically switch to it once we get on approach mode here. Back to the chart. See if I can contact the tower yet. No, still too early. Okay, so we're going to be below 13. That looks good. Next restriction is going to be 250 at 10 for deceleration. Put the landing lights on now so I don't forget. Otherwise I'll get dinged for it by the career mode police there. Now we should start decelerating pretty soon here. I might have to use speed brakes so I don't violate the speed restriction coming in. Sounds good, Maury. Have fun building that cockpit. Hopefully it doesn't take you too long. Speed brake seems to work pretty good, so you see it's now bugged down to 245, so I'm just going to use the speed brake to help me slow down so I don't violate the speed below 10,000 feet. Seems to be pretty good slowing down, so I'm just going to move the speed brake. A beautiful day in South Texas here. So 10,000 feet, just double check our checklist here. So landing lights on, stereo cockpit, auto brake switches set to minimum. Next will be the before landing, so we just need gear, flaps, spoilers armed, and missile approach altitude set. So we'll get those momentarily. Okay, looking good. Make sure I stay below 250. Yeah, I must say the sounds are pretty decent on this airplane as well. Be 7 or above, we're going to slow to 230. So I can put out the, so I'm below slat extension speed and gear extension speed, so I could put the slats out anytime. Now I have found if I put the slats out, it's going to say I exceeded the speed, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to put the slats out.
Excessive flap speed, Captain.
See? I haven't exceeded the flap speed yet, so I'm going to get dinged for that. So that needs to be fixed for career mode here for sure. Because I was below the slat speed, and in order to slow down to 230, I really need to put those out. And I should be able to go flap 15 now, because I'm below the flap 15 speed, so that needs to be fixed. So I'm going to get dinged for that, even though I didn't exceed the flap speeds. Still can't contact tower, but sometimes if you go to this page here, you can we'll put airports. Look for San Antonio. Yeah, sometimes it gives you the option to call here. Oh, there we got some music. Maybe now I can contact tower. No, not yet.
Below 18,000 San Antonio Tower. Remember to switch free 115.
Oh, there we go.
3 miles west.
Finally worked.
6700 with Echo to land.
November 2 tree 115, San Antonio Tower. Altimeter 2986. Make left base runway 4.
Enter left base runway 4 115.
Yeah, so we're going to do left base runway 4. Speed restriction is 210, so I can go to flap 15, which is the dial of flap setting. And then now the speed will go to 210. So now it's in profile mode, it's going to go to 166, which I really don't want it to do yet, so I'm going to keep the speed up to 200 knots.
Stabilizer motion.
So select 200 and pull the knob out to set thrust for 200. No, I won't be live tomorrow. I usually try to do Sunday afternoons live. So I try to do one video a week and then live stream on Sunday afternoons. That's the plan for now, anyway. So it's going to stay in 6,000 until we get past Lowen. And I'm going to try something here. I wanted to see how the, if I could do an intercept course. I think I can. Wasn't able to figure it out, but I think I figured it out. So once I get downwind, I'm actually going to go on a heading and I'm going to set an intercept course to hard here. So if I push the knob in, it's going to go on the selected heading. So selected heading, and it'll maintain that heading. But if I turn the heading, you can see the plane is not going to follow the heading. It's going to stay on the selected heading of 213. If I want to fly the heading other than 213, I'll show you here in a minute. I'm going to have to select it and then pull the knob out to make it fly that heading. But now I want to see if I can get an intercept course. So I'll go vertical speed just to keep the descent going to 2,000 feet. So vertical speed mode, down to 2,000.
Stabilizer motion.
So I'm going to go direct to hard. And the inbound track, so if I go to approach, is 037. So course 037. And then I hit that again up here, and then it's just going to, no, I thought I could do that. So direct to hard, course 037. Nope. If anyone knows how to do an intercept course properly in this plane, let me know. I'm still trying to figure that out. So if I go hard, maybe it's the course outbound. So that would be 57. Or sorry, outbound would be plus 200, 237, 217. Let's try that. Hard. Oh. Direct to hard. 217. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to figure that out down the road. Okay, so we want to change our heading, so now I just change the heading, but it's not going to fly the heading until I pull it. Yeah, if you know what I mean by extending the center line, then like on the Boeing, you just go direct intercept course to the fix you want to go to. It just extends the center line out, but I can't figure out how to do that on this airplane. I was a real pilot in real life, but I'm retired, so I just get my flying fixes flying in the sim now. So I got my heading mode. So now it's in heading mode, but it's not going to follow the sim. So I put an intercept course on, and then I pull it, and then it'll make the turn. Yeah, weird kind of bug for weird selection for heading mode. And I could also go direct to hard.
2500.
And we'll go nav mode and just get it there in nav mode. So we're 2,000 or 3,000 for 2,000. We haven't got our glide slope or localizer information yet, so I'll have to wait till we get a little closer here. I know I busted the altitude hard, but we're essentially visual for the visual approach, so. What planes did I fly? Oh, I flew lots of planes in my career. I flew, mostly for airlines, I flew 737 and 787. Okay, so I'm going to arm the approach. Localizer is captured, but we got no glide slope yet. So I'll start bringing the speed back a little bit. Go to 180. We do have glide slope information now, so you can see land is armed, so that will capture the glide slope. So we're looking pretty good. You see the airport up there somewhere, right up there. Still a little far out. Hold on, this might not be it. Make a little bit of a turn here. Yeah, it's still hard to figure out where it is. Still 15 miles back. Might be right up here. Arm the speed brake. Got gear and flaps to go. This approach altitude is 3,500 feet. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, I'll try to land this. I know I got to flare a little early with this airplane. The couple landings I've had so far have been pretty firm, so we'll see how it goes. We got a pretty good crosswind, 12 knots. The winds were 120, so it was pretty much straight crosswind. Should see the airport up here. It's right about there. This airplane really sits nose high in a when you're getting an approach configuration, though. Another major airport right there. Okay, definitely got the field there. Should get some glide slope coming in here momentarily. I don't know. Is there a single queue option on the flight director there, Maury? I'm not sure. I have to go with too short final right now to look at it, but I'm not sure if you can have that option to select that for your flight director. Should have glide slope coming in here in a bit. Got 4 reds. Comes the glide slope. So I'll get the gear down. Go to flap 28. Go FMS speed mode. And we should be approach 142. There we go, approach 142. We'll flap 35. And we'll complete the landing checklist. Put in our, we've captured the glide slope. No, not, yeah, we've captured the glide slope, so good. So we put in 3,500. Okay, that looks good. Let's complete the checklist. So gears down. Flaps are extended, spoilers are armed, and missed approach altitude set. Line checklist complete. Get a little bit above the glide path.
Stabilizer motion. Autopilot.
Autopilot off. Yeah, you get some squirrely winds coming in here, so we're getting a little bit low.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
Getting a little bit low.
Glide slope.
Reckon.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
300.
Glide slope.
That looks better.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
200.
Pretty much a straight crosswind.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
40.
Glide slope.
40, 30.
Glide slope.
100.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
50.
Glide slope.
40. 30.
Glide
20.
slope.
10.
There's touchdown. Reversers. Normal. Speed brake is up. Yeah, that was a challenging landing. Auto brake disarm. Straight crosswind there. Definitely challenging. Okay, we'll clear the runway off the left there for our hold short line.
Stabilizer.
Clear the runway here, and then we'll bring it to a stop. That should be far enough, I think. Let's taxi to parking.
San Antonio ground. November 2 tree 115. Taxi to parking.
We'll get the APU power on. Your lane light off, strobe light off. Taxi light can go on.
Left Delta Cross runway tree 1 left Delta Golf Hotel.
Get our taxi chart.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway. November 7 November Delta Cross runway 1 tree left Delta Cross runway tree 1 left Delta Golf Hotel 115.
Delta Golf Hotel, so somewhere up this way, I guess. So we'll head down November for now. Then cross at Delta Golf and pick up hotel somewhere, and then taxi into here somewhere. We'll see where it is. Hopefully it's in this west ramp in the cargo area. Start our taxi. Well, thanks, Maury. That was a challenging landing, but I see that's in the options. I normally fly with this type of flight director, so I think I'll just keep this one. But single queue is a nice option if you prefer that. For those who do flight sim, don't get discouraged if it's challenging to land these airplanes, because in the sim it can be challenging to get good landings on some of these airplanes here. I find, even though I've flown the 737 for many hours, I find it a lot easier to land in real life than to land in the sim. Okay, the APU is starting up. We should have APU available. We'll get the speed brake down, get the flaps up. Transponder, we can go to alt on or just into transponder mode. And let's get the after landing checklist. After landing, reversers are stowed, landing lights are off, high intensity lights are off, slats are up, spoilers are down, stabilizer trim. Reset to 3 degrees. I think if you fly a certain plane in the sim enough, though, you eventually get a good feel for when to initiate the flare and stuff like that. But if you haven't flown a plane very much, it can be very challenging to get good landings. Still trying to set the stab trim here to 3. Okay, that's close enough. Stabs trim is reset. Weather radar is off. APU is started. So the after landing checklist complete. The next will be the parking checklist. So there's our parking spot over there. So let's, if you want to recall your taxi instructions, you can just go to the comm page here. So he's got us taxi November Delta, cross 13 at Delta, and Delta Golf Hotel. So November, yeah, see this is taxiway Romeo, so sometimes the taxi instructions, because he didn't include a Romeo, so you'd have to go, oh no, you can taxi Delta right there, so. Oh, could cut the corner right there. Yeah, there's Delta. We'll make a left turn here. Got that just in time. You won't get docked if you taxi the wrong way, though, on career mode. That'll work. We'll take Delta, Delta across, then Gulf Hotel. Yeah, so now that FedEx is back flying this, I think my next video I'll do a full flight FedEx flight in this airplane. The auto brake and disarm. Get rid of that light up there. Okay, clear right, clear left. Yeah, I agree. The plane is not that difficult to fly there, Maury. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Glenn. Yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't a bad landing. I'll take it. As far as an airliner goes, I think the MD-11 was really one of the early modern airlines that had a nice glass cockpit for its air, good VNAV system. And really, yeah, as long as everything is in normal mode, auto mode, then everything works pretty well. Oh, looks like we are parking over on a cargo apron. Oh, good. This is hotel, and then we'll just turn in left where we can turn in. Yeah, this is a third-party software for San Antonio. Not sure, can't remember who makes it, but it is nice, nice scenery for the airport. So these Hercs are probably part of the static scenery for the airport and the Southwest flights here. So I think we'll turn in the ramp after these Hercs and get into our parking spot. I think this is one of the first airports I've landed at in a cargo mission that actually parked me at a cargo facility. Need a lot of oversteer on this airplane. So the afterland checklist is complete. We have the APU available. You can see it's APU power available and the available lights on up there. So we should just be able to park, set the parking brake, and shut down. Looks like spot 21. I'm going to cheat with the outside view here for stopping. Make sure I'm in the blue circle.
Sweet home.
There we go. Set the parking brake. Looks good. APU is available. And we'll go cut off on all three engines.
That was a risky landing, but apparently no problem for you. Congrats.
There we go. Get the belts off. Transponder is off. Get the beacon off. And we'll go APU bleed air on. And that's the end of the flight. Well, welcome to San Antonio. Successful mission in career mode in the TFDI MD-11. Yeah, it's nice to have nice airplanes like this available to fly in career mode. Even if you don't fly career mode that often, it's just nice to hop in and do a flight once in a while. You can see I got dinged for the flap extended max speed there. I thought I respected the conditions of the airplane a little better than that, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, there's our rating, not too bad. And see what we earned for income on this. Nice 14 million credits. Perfect. There we go. Got 63 million credits. So I'll start saving up to buy another, maybe I buy one of the 747 heavies and try that in career mode. Could I earn another 270 million? I think it's 270 million credits to buy that, so that might be a while. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, take time, hit that like, share, subscribe, sign up for notifications when you see videos. You'll see videos like this when I put them out in the future. Hope you enjoyed the flight today. It was fun to fly this airplane in career mode. Like I said, I don't do a lot of career mode flights, but I'll definitely feature this airplane on some of my normal videos and future streams. Oh, thanks, Maury. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my Lex Live stream, but I think I'll fly this airplane for the next recorded video I do. So that should be a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time on the Bandit Flight Simmer channel. Sorry I couldn't do another leg today, but it's Mother's Day, so I think I better go treat Mom to a nice dinner. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the channel. Bandit out.